Okay, back to Central America. And this has been a anticipated game I wanted to get back to. We've had our introductory baby scenarios. But now we're moving into the intermediates. And we're going on at my opponent's request. Scenario number 5. War in El Salvador. And there you go. It tells you there in the first sentence underneath the note, it says there are 2 variants. So I rolled the dice. And 3 to 6 was going to be the separate piece. Or 1 to 3 separate piece. 4 to 6 surprise offensive. The roll was a 4. So it will be the surprise offensive variant of the Civil War in El Salvador. And you can read here for yourself if you wanted to press pause what goes on with it. We've switched sides at my opponent's request, or I offered him if the chance to switch sides, and he took me up on it. So now we're the bad guys. We get to play the commies. Scenario length 18 turns. It is a conventional game scenario, not a intervention game scenario yet. But I will let you look and see what's going on here. My partner is the Salvadorans, or El Salvadorans. And this is his setup. Now, I don't know if he was freely able to set up what he was able to freely set up or what, but this is the extent of it. You can see he's got his artillery units there, regular units. The white stripe units are insurgencies. He's got paratroopers there on the right, the ARC units, and he has some ranger units, or special forces paratroopers. So he's got some elite or insurgency units for the El Salvador. And you can see here they got bridge or road out markers. Won't be able to use the road. Also got a couple bridges out there. And the white dots are victory point hexes that I have to capture. Also in this game, and we're just now starting it, here's a bunch of CIA units there on Tiger Island. There's a supply source for communist units, if we could trace supply through there. But I was mandatory to put those units there. So that's where and you can see here the FMLN. Now you have the FMLN, the SSLM, and I remember back in the day it was hard to keep track of them. And I had to look it up on the internet and find out who was who and what was what. It was crazy, but that's where I am required to put those units. The rest of these units down here are all to my discretion, but they have to be in El Salvador, this hex row, or east. So I'd like to set them up someplace where I can take care of that air group, and maybe Tiger Island. We'll see. I just put these units down there. I've yet to look at any kind of strategy, but here's my units to start out with. I do believe. I'll have to look. And these are all different factions and stuff. This here's actually a Libyan unit. The front for the liberation of Palestine, Palestinian units maybe? It doesn't say PLO, but I think it's something. MRH, some more, just different factions. There you go. And we'll be back. Alright, we are ready for some more Central America by Victory Games gameplay. And we are ready to make our first move. We got the game all set up here. We got all kinds of different units, capabilities, and rules on this new advanced scenario. Now, I am the communist player. Nicaraguan units are in red. Units with their white stripe are insurgency units. Maroon units are Salvadoran rebels, I guess, sponsored by the Sandinistas. My opponent's the blue, which is the El Salvadorans, and their insurgency units are with the white stripe. Now we do have a CIA presence on Tiger Island, and that is a good helicopter unit. That's a transport / attack helicopter. I used it in my first scenario when I was the Allies, and it's a good unit. And they got a SAM site, an entrenchment marker, and an engineers unit in here, all CIA. Luckily, though, insurgency units in this game can cross water, so we get a bunch of victory points for any CIA units that are eliminated, so that might be one of our priorities. Another thing is we could have a helicopter paradrop or something like that. Somehow we can get to that island, so we'll have to figure out the logistics of an assault there if need be. Now here I got my victory points or victory conditions posted, and there you can see for my victory conditions. I need to gather towns, eliminate the CIA, and eliminate Salvadoran ground units. So that's pretty much it. Capture towns, eliminate units, and eliminate the CIA. My opponent gets points, 3 victory points for my entrenchment she eliminates. Each time FSS value is destroyed, he gets obvious points for that. Each time another government unit is destroyed or communist units are destroyed. So there you go. He just wants to eliminate my units and eliminate my trenches, so I have to keep my units pretty well built up to stacking limits in each hex, make them hard nuts to crack. Meanwhile, I'll be after my objectives. The pencils were in spots where certain units had to be deployed at. I think that went for these units here, the FSLN. The other ones are the FMLN. So we got FMLN there. What are the differences? Huh. I have no idea. Oh, some of them might be based out of Guatemala and some of them Honduras or something. I can't remember. We have our international units there. Volunteers from around the world, Libyans, stuff like that. So there you go. Now, like I said, I was able to deploy these here, and then I had a choice with these units here to deploy them. Oh, you can see there's one there. But like I said, this is just a first overview. I think one of our priorities will definitely be to hit the CIA there. It's Tiger Island. We got a helicopter, I believe a SAM site, an entrenchment, and an engineers unit. So luckily my insurgency units can cross water and attack, but we might have to make us a little bit of a helicopter assault. And we do have us a nice little star of the show, Hindy. So we'll be trying to put that to use too. Opening strategies. Communists get to go first, which is me. Like I said, Tiger Island is definitely going to be a priority for those CIA victory points. Whether we can get there or not, there's I think a 2-unit limit on stacking, so we'll have to see what we can do there. Provide with some attack with some coordinated air support. Or on my first turn, I was going to take some units from my air group. There you go. And I've already looked it up. And maybe launch an attack on some of these air bases. Take out his air units first. They'll definitely be intercepted, probably. But I do believe with all my air units on one mission, I could survive the interception unless it's a real bad die roll. And still deliver enough bombardment points to take out that air group. I think that's a 4, 5, and 6 I need to roll with 6-sided dice if I can bring at least 5 bombardment points. So that might be a opening strategy too, is always to establish that air superiority. So we'll see what goes on. That is it. He has air units too on his air groups. Air group markers represent bases which hold air groups. Orange blocks represent brigade side units that the Salvadoran player must roll a die to activate. On an even number, they get to move. Odd, they have to stay put. So he has to do that for the first 3 turns. Also, he has limits on the number of units he can move to simulate the surprise element. First turn, he can only move 8 ground units or attempt to move. Well, he can move 8 ground units. If they're brigade size units, he has to roll to see if they get activated, and that goes towards his 8 total. On turn number 2, he can move 12 units. Turn number 3, 16, and forward after he can move all of his units. So his hands are kind of tied, so I need to take advantage of that. definitely need to take advantage of those units. So what my initial strategy was, looking at this last night, was unfortunately there's scenario rules that don't allow my rebels to go into Honduras or Guatemala. You can see the dotted line border is kind of a pain in the butt, but we got to stay within there, which really restricts my movement. If I could go into the other countries, I was going to swing around here and start the attack this way. Another main thing with that strategy, though, is we got to cut off reinforcements. So somehow I want to, within the constrictions of El Salvador, which is going to be hard to do because we're all so close together, is I'm going to kind of mainly swing around, move the units this way, down here against an attack, and then get another group of units down here to another line to hold off on any counterattack. So I need one line to attack these western towns, villages, cities, and get my attacks so I could eliminate units, and maybe somehow get somebody down here to keep the rest of these units from reinforcing. The thing of it is, here's this brigade size units are here, so he's got to roll for the ones in orange. Orange means somewhere in that hex there's a brigade size unit he's got to roll for. Now here, these white markers, they represent the big cities that we need to take. Whether we'll be able to do that, because all these units are just rated 1. So what you're looking at is insurgency modifiers. You got some special forces, or rather he does. Paratroopers, special forces, and that might be the first units we have to go after. Eliminate his elite units and air units first. How that's done, what to see, that's going to be a whole study before we even do anything. But there you go. Yeah, we got SAM sites. He's got artillery in this game. Civilian military assistance units, CMA, paratroopers, insurgents, rangers. So, our special forces rather. And there you go. We're getting at it. I'm studying, getting ready to make the first moves on our phase track. We'll skip the white ones. We ain't into that yet, though. U.S. and Soviet Union haven't intervened in this intermediate scenario yet. We're still at the beginning, but we will start with supply, ground unit phase, and all that other stuff when we come back. Also, there is low cloud cover on the turns with the gray blocks. That eliminates some kind of air missions and counterinsurgency during those turns. So this is a 18 turn game. And that is it. We do have chemical weapons options, but I don't see where using them would be any benefit. There is political restrictions or consequences, but in this scenario, we don't have politics, so I don't see any. We'll look at the chemical weapons and see if I could use them or not. Oh, there you go. All kinds of points to be had. Insurgency units to place, not to place. Key thing is, get me some towns, maybe get San Salvador. We'll see how that goes. But yeah, we want to, in these opening salvos, attack these air bases. We'll be right back.